Hello everyone, today's video is all about VAT, everyone's favourite tax, and specifically more changes afoot following our Brexit, our exit from the EU. There were a lot of changes that came in already on the 1st of January 2021, but there are more to come on the 1st of July. So, best illustrated by way of an example. Now let's take an example of a B2C supply. So a UK VAT registered business making supplies direct to consumers in the EU of services. Now remember, in the VAT world, we have to distinguish between goods and services. I'm going to do a separate video on the supply of goods, but for now, let's think of services only. So B2C supply of services. Now, let's take an example of an entertainer. Let's say it's the guy who is an opera singer. So the guy from the Go Compare adverts, and he's been commissioned by three wealthy individuals, one in Sweden, one in Germany, one in Denmark, to perform at their 50th birthdays later on this year. So what does he do about VAT? Assuming our singer, he's going to charge 100 grand plus VAT for the performance, but which VAT? So the rules say B2C is all about where the customer belongs. So you don't charge VAT based on where you as the business, i.e. the UK, VAT registered in the UK, it's not UK VAT that we add, it's because it's B2C, the VAT that's applicable is the VAT rate in force within that EU territory where the consumer belongs. So in this case, the rich guys who are commissioning our opera singer to perform at their birthdays. So what does that mean for the UK business, our opera singer guy who's VAT registered? Well, he has to register for VAT in each of those three territories. He's got to register with the Danish, Swedish and the German tax authorities and account for VAT on his sales invoice and pay that output VAT over to those tax authorities. So this is the scenario if the performances, the three of them, were done before the 1st of July. So very burdensome to deal with three VAT territories and have to do VAT returns, account for the output VAT. In this particular case, the rates in Sweden and Denmark, their output VAT is 25%. Germany's is 19 in comparison to ours, which is 20. So we'd have to do three separate invoices, obviously, to the individual A, 100 grand plus 25 grand sterling equivalent of Swedish output VAT, and then again 25 grand of Danish output VAT and 19 grand of German output VAT, and pay those three separate amounts off to the three tax authorities in those countries, and the paperwork and everything that goes with that. Now, from the 1st of July, what happens is the process is being simplified. So the rules in terms of whose VAT do you pay doesn't change. It's still going to be B2C where the consumer is based. So he's still liable to pay three lots of output VAT, or he still owes three lots of output VAT. But actually, what he does, he physically pays one lot of output VAT, and it then gets divvied up behind the scenes to the three territories. So the rules are called this. The rules, by the way, are called the one-stop shop. It kind of does what it says on the tin, that you only have to deal with one tax authority for all your obligations across multiple tax authorities in the EU, and they will sort it out whichever territory you register with. Now, it's probably wise to register with an English-speaking territory because the rules say you can choose any EU state to do this. So I would suggest that our opera singer would register with the Irish VAT authorities, and what he'd do a VAT return to the Irish VAT authorities to cover the VAT that's due to Denmark, Sweden and Germany. So like I said, he's not performing in Ireland, doesn't matter. He can still choose to deal just with the Irish VAT authorities. So in this case, he tot up, rather than doing a check to the Germans for 19 grand, a check to the Danish tax authorities for 25, and a check to the Swedish VAT people for 25, he just writes one check, 69 grand, 25, 25, 19 to Ireland. And off it goes. One return, one check, 69,000, one return. So not 3 separate checks and 3 separate VAT returns. And then the Irish tax authorities, behind the scenes, they will make sure it gets allocated to those 3 countries. Accordingly, the Irish authorities will liaise with the Swedish, Danish and German authorities. But thankfully, our guy won't have to do that dialogue, won't have to have the rigmarole of having to deal with the authorities, because it's then at that stage it's the tax authorities talking to each other. So it makes life a lot easier for the business selling services into the EU post the 1st of July 2021, that they don't have to deal with multiple territories' VAT authorities. Just got to be done via one. And like I said, you can choose anyone you want, but it obviously makes sense to choose an English-speaking territory, and it doesn't have to be, like I said, the territory that you are, one of the territories that you are performing if you're giving multiple performances across several EU countries. So a really good thing coming in to simplify matters. So, like I said, the total obligation, that 69 grand that he owes on the 3 sales invoices, is still 69. It was 69 before the change. He just had to pay 25, 25, and 19 to 3 VAT authorities. Now it's just one payment for the lot to the Irish authorities, and then they sort it out amongst the other territories within the EU. So, a good positive thing to look out for if you are in a situation where you're making B2C supplies of services. So this is related to services. Now, separate rules on goods, and I'll do a separate video all on that. But that's just an overview on B2C Supplies, UK VAT registered business selling services into EU customers from the 1st of July. If you like this video, please do subscribe right there, and I will see you soon.